And then, since she wanted to, searched rest cures and the yellow wallpaper, and she reread the yellow wallpaper, which she had once read in college. Then stared blankly for a while at nothing in particular while sitting on the toilet. Then stopped searching altogether. "Touch it," she insisted, pointing to her tooth. Her husband reached out and prodded the tip of her canine with his pointer finger. "Ow," he said, pulling his hand back and cradling it close to his body. "Just kidding," he said as he held up an unscathed finger and waggled it at her face. "Your tooth looks the same to me." "You always think something's wrong with you," he said pleasantly. Her husband was an engineer. He specialized in quality control. What precisely this meant, the mother was not entirely sure. So he went around and looked at machines to make sure they were maximizing efficiency, adjusted systems to keep them humming along at higher frequencies, read output reports and made suggestions toward improvement. Sure, whatever. What she did know was that he had little time for feelings, a condescending patience for intuition, and scoffed openly at talk unsupported by peer-reviewed scientific studies or statistics. Still, he was a good man, a caring man, an affable man, whom she appreciated very much, despite everything. She was, after all, prone to indecision, doubling back on things she had once felt but had since come to feel differently about. She was prone to anxiety, to worry, to a sensation in her chest that her heart might explode. She ran hot. She buzzed. Either she needed to keep busy or else she needed to lie down and sleep. Her husband, on the other hand, needed nothing whatsoever. No wonder, then, that they deferred to his judgment, his good, level-headed judgment, his engineer's evenness. Of course there was nothing wrong with her. This she told herself as they lay in bed, their child between them, asleep and wedging his toes beneath her leg. "I think I should sleep in the guest room," she whispered to her husband. "Why?" he whispered back. "I get so angry now. At night," she said. He didn't respond. "I think I just need a good night's sleep," she added. "Okay," he said. She rolled from bed without a sound and felt her way down the stairs and tucked into the clean sheets of the guest bed. She rubbed the patch of coarse hair on the back of her neck to soothe herself, then ran her tongue over the sharp edges of her teeth. In this way, she fell into a thick and unbothered sleep. One day, the mother was a mother, but then, one night, she was quite suddenly something else. Yes, it had been June, and yes, her husband had been gone the entire week. In fact, it was his 22nd week-long absence that year, a year in which only 24 weeks in total had passed. Not that anyone was counting. Yes, the boy had an ear infection that week and had slept only in fitful bouts. Yes, he had not really been napping well or even at all. Yes, she was experiencing intense PMS for the first time in her life, at age 37. And it was then, on a regular Friday in the deepest hours of the night, when the boy awoke there in bed between his mother and father, for he would not, sleep in his own. It was the third or fourth time that night he had stirred. She had lost track. At first, she did nothing, waiting for her husband to wake, which he did not, because that wasn't a thing he ever did. She waited longer than she usually did. Waited and waited, the boy wailing while she lay as still as a corpse, patiently waiting for the day when her corpse self would miraculously be reanimated and taken into the kingdom of the chosen, where it would create an astonishing art installation composed of many aesthetically interesting beds. The corpse